and we are now live. Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, for those who don't know, I'm Laurel Ann Porter, and today I decided that the Mad Hatter was the persona that I wanted to call upon to help me conduct this lovely ceremony that has just become so near and dear to me. So one of the reasons why, well, actually, before we get into the reasons why, I'm going to go ahead and open sacred space, and then I'll lead us all in opening our Viracocha, and then I'll say a few comments and have some musical surprises. And then we will go into some specific mantras that I want to focus on for this month for all of us. And then we'll go into the actual transmission of the Rite. And this time we're going to actually close with some slightly more, we'll go ahead and say raucous music. We'll go ahead and say raucous. We're gonna close with some energy. So let me. To the winds of the south. Sachamama, great serpent, come and wrap your coils of light around us. Come and teach us to shed our past the way you shed your skin all at once. Teach us to walk the beauty way. Beauty in front of us, beauty behind us, beauty below us, beauty above us, beauty on either side of us, beauty within us, and beauty without us. Teach us to look backward at our past and to find ways to turn pain into beauty so that we may fully walk the beauty way. Aho. To the winds of the west. Otorongo, mother, sister, jaguar, come into this medicine space and protect us. Protect us from all intrusive energies and entities. Protect us from our own shadow, which we often cannot even see. Teach us the way beyond death, across the rainbow bridge and back, so that we may walk our highest destiny with courage and integrity. Aho. To the winds of the north, Siwarkente, royal hummingbird, come into this medicine space and teach us to drink only from the nectar of life. Teach us to find stillness even in motion, even as the winds of change are blowing in these fall seasons here in North America. Allow us to find that stillness and serenity while big changes come to our highest destiny. And we call upon the ancestors who are so close to us on this night, when the veil is so thin between worlds. We ask the wise and loving ancestors to be present as protectors and as sources of wisdom. Share with us your highest wisdom so that we may always honor you with our words and actions. Aho. To the winds of the east, great eagle, condor, urubu, raven, all those who come from the land of the rising sun, the place of our becoming. Come and be present with us. Teach us to fly wing to wing with great spirit and hold us under your wings when we falter. Help us to feel that connection to source, to all that is, so that we may always feel supported and loved, no matter what our circumstances are. Aho. Mother Earth, Pachamama, Mother Gaia, the one who always supports us, from whom all life comes, to whom all life must eventually return. Thank you, Mother, for your loving embrace. Teach us to be in Aini with all creation, with the plant people, the stone people, the creepy crawlies, the finned, the feathered, the furred, and let's not forget our fellow two-leggeds. Teach us to model that right relationship so that all future generations may live abundant, joyful lives. Aho. Father Sun and Grandmother Moon, on the night of this glorious new moon, and all of our Star Nation brothers and sisters, you who are known by 1,000 names and you who cannot be named, watch over us this evening as the moon is in her darkest phase. Teach us to be at peace with the darkness so that we may know ourselves more fully. Aho. So, let me make sure I'm not going to run over any cables. I'm on a rolling chair this time, so it makes it a little more flexible. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why the playful attitude, right? And something that has come through for me, if you've been following me, you know I'm going through another round of the medicine wheel, and in the West, which is where I have been hanging out for a few weeks, the West tends to be the place where we need to begin preparing ourselves to face our fears and look at our shadow. So you can imagine it's a really good time. But the thing that came through for me while I was kind of sitting in that experience and working through things that were coming up for me was the word enjoyment. And this word, to enjoy something, is to imbue joy into the process of that happening. And so then I realized that if it's a verb, we can choose to imbue joy into anything in life, including the processes of looking at our shadow, facing our fears, things like that. So that is the primary reason, aside from it being the day after Halloween, that I decided that my playful attitude needed to take over. And I've also I just keep seeing Alice in Wonderland imagery appear in my life, and it's reminding me of how much I enjoy that as a cultural text, and also as a representative of really, really rich imagination. And so for me, all of these things go together, the imagination, the playfulness, even the shadow and the fears, and that when we can cultivate all of those things together, it can be very magical. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. And on this new moon, I am especially delighted to be bringing play and joy, because it just so happens that I myself have seen a couple of little tiny things happen today that have just reminded me that things are in play, seeds have been planted that are now coming to their next phase, and we're planting new seeds. We are always planting the seeds of our becoming on these new moons. And I don't know if you can see, whoops, where am I? There's my 13 candles over there representing the 13 moons of the calendar year. And so they say it is most effective to do this rite, the rite of the womb, 13 times in a row during a calendar year cycle, so that you have the full cycle of the new moon, of the moon and all of her new moons in that process. So, let's all take a couple of nice deep breaths. Put your hands at your chest in gratitude or prayer pose. And on the next exhale, go ahead and bring those hands up above your head, up into that orb of light just above your head, the 8th chakra, the Viracocha. Put your fingertips right in there and just stretch that ball of light all the way down around you. Just feel the way it holds you. Feel the way it embraces you with loving, protective light. Feel what it feels like. See if it feels entire. How is the integrity of it? You could even sense with your fingertips if there are any places where the Viracocha needs a little bit of weaving. If there's a slight tear, just to go ahead and strengthen that with your intention and your imagination. Your intention and your imagination are two of the most powerful tools at your disposal in life. And when that feels beautiful and safe and secure, go ahead and put your hands together and reach back up into that Viracocha and extend it over this community. As we hold each other safely in this container. So, as I was pondering death this month, I came up with something that I really just thought it was so clever that I wanted to share it with you. And, my therapist says I'm allowed to be shamelessly self-congratulatory. So if it's too clever, I apologize. If it's not clever enough, I apologize. If it's just the right amount of clever, you're welcome. Oh, and I will be quoting from the book of the sacred and holy, His Purple Majesty. And I will be adapting his script for our purposes. Dearly beloveds, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called death. It's a powerful word, death. It feels like forever, and that's a mighty long time, but I'm here to tell you, there's something else. The rebirth into a new world and a new you. A new world that you co-create. You can live in never-ending happiness if you choose. You can be the sunlight in your own life every day and night. So before you call up that shrink in Beverly Hills to refill your prescription for whatever is masking your pain, tell doctor everything will be all right, to just take a chill pill for a little while. Pause for a moment. Instead of worrying about how much time you have left in this life or how much time you've wasted, ask yourself how much of your mind and heart and soul are still left in you. In the life you've been living, things feel harder than they need to be. In the life you've been living, you probably feel alone. And if the elevator tries to take you down into that pit of despair, punch a higher floor and tell him, I'm not going there. So that's my little homage to His Royal Purple Majesty Prince. So in all seriousness, I wanted to talk about this death and rebirth phenomenon, because I think people are often just so afraid to even talk about death, because it does tend to be a very mysterious and yet also a very final kind of phenomenon, because it is a very distinct departure of existence on a certain plane of existence. And so for many of us, that feels very final. And yet, the more comfortable we can get with the processes of birth and death and rebirth and life and death and rebirth and life and death, the more we can get comfortable with those processes that exist in our lives and in our world and in the natural world around us, the easier it makes, excuse me, the easier it makes it to just move through life. And I wanted to kind of talk about that in relation to Marcela Lobos' story of how she channeled this Rite, the Rite of the Womb, this transmission. And she described the moment as realizing that there was a deep wound inside her that was dead and needed to be sort of released as if it was a miscarried baby, essentially. And I think for many of us, I've been dealing with the witch wound all week. I've had some really beautiful, lovely, powerful ceremonial space that I've been in with some fellow sisters. And I think that we often don't even notice, or we forget, at the way for probably 1,000 years now, even if we aren't literally burning women at the stake down the street like they were, 5, 6, 7, 800, 900 years ago, even if it's not literally that happening, if you just look at the way women over those 1,000 years have been silenced, have been told they're crazy, have been called witches or other things that are, there's fear attached to them. The way women have been kind of denigrated and really limited to these very, very limited social roles, and to have there be, this sort of implied status that is much lower, right? That all of those things, they have an effect on our system. And so the more we can shed, every month with the moon, for example, the more we can shed the layers of those wounds, consciously, purposefully, with our intention and our imagination, the more we can free ourselves from the weight of those wounds. So, tonight we're going to grieve for those parts of ourselves that were wounded in ways that left us feeling silenced, for the parts of ourselves that were wounded feeling like we did not have autonomy over our own selves or our bodies, our very being, the parts of ourselves that have felt wounded by oppressive structures and systems that prevent us from fulfilling our full potential. Those parts of ourselves that have felt that, we're going to grieve for those parts of ourselves. And while we are grieving for those parts of ourselves, I would like to, these mantras that came through, I want to actually repeat them 3 times. And so I invite you to just speak them aloud to yourself 3 times as well. I feel safe speaking from the heart. I feel safe speaking from the heart. I feel safe speaking from the heart. I trust that my inner wisdom, intuition, and gifts are in flow. I trust that my inner wisdom, intuition, and gifts are in flow. I trust that my inner wisdom, intuition, and gifts are in flow. I am a being of light and I belong here. I am a being of light and I belong here. I am a being of light and I belong here. I am safe to shine brightly. I am safe to shine brightly. I am safe to shine brightly. I accept myself and how I feel. I accept myself and how I feel. I accept myself and how I feel. I respect what my body needs and what it tells me. I respect what my body needs and what it tells me. I respect what my body needs and what it tells me. I express my emotions creatively. I express my emotions creatively. I express my emotions creatively. I am safe and free to live my authentic life. I am safe and free to live my authentic life. I am safe and free to live my authentic life. I am worthy of connection and acceptance just as I am. I am worthy of connection and acceptance just as I am. I am worthy of connection and acceptance just as I am. I am free to let other people think what they want. I am free to let other people think what they want. I am free to let other people think what they want. So I'm going to lead us in a breathing exercise, and then I will sing a lullaby designed to support the transmission of this rite. And then we will transmit the rite, where each one of us will have an opportunity to blow our wishes and blessings into a flower. I will put that flower in this bowl of water in the middle of the 13 candles. And then tomorrow morning, I will take this bowl of water with the seeds from all these flowers out into my garden and just give them back to the earth as an offering. So, let's see here. Let me just make sure that is coming. Okay, seems like the audio on that is okay. Okay, let's do a gentle 4-4-4-4 breathing pattern where we will inhale for a count of 4, hold that at the top for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, hold that at the bottom for a count of 4, and then do that 4 times. So, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Come, my beloved, and lie down on my mesa. I'm gonna help you free yourself. Nibi wabo endayen aiki mishkui nibi wabo heya 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 ho heya 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 ho Nibi wabu endayen aiki qui nibi amo heia 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 ho heia 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 ho. Okay. And now what I will do is I'll do everybody all at once, whether you're listening on the replay or here now. And first I will hold my hands up in the sky and I will repeat the phrase that I'm going to say, that I want you to repeat, which is, the womb is not a place to store fear or pain. The womb is to create and give birth to life. So we'll do that once with my hands in the air. We'll do it another time with one hand of mine in the air and one hand on my belly. A third time with both of my hands on my own belly. And then the last time I will be holding one hand out to you, to all of you, to your belly, while we say it the last time together. And then we'll have everybody blow their blessings and wishes into one of these flowers. There's some beautiful ones here, some little roses and some kind of orange ones too. So, the womb is not a place to store fear or pain. The womb is to create and give birth to life. One hand on my own belly. The womb is not a place to store fear or pain. The womb is to create and give birth to life. And now both hands on my own belly. The womb is not a place to store fear or pain. The womb is to create and give birth to life. And the last time, one of my hands on your belly. The womb is not a place to store fear or pain. The womb is to create and give birth to life. Okay, so Rosemary, do you have a vote on what flower you would like me to pull?
They're all so beautiful.
Right?
Oh my gosh. But like on the other side, I'm sorry. The other side, the yellow-ish orange one, I think.
The yellowish, is it this guy?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Let me set it down. Okay. And let's all just take a moment. I love that it's got multiple little heads to it, so everybody can kind of aim at a flower, at one of those blossoms, and just set your intention and your imagination for whatever wishes and blessings you're calling in for yourself, for your family, for your community, and for the earth. Love it, love it. Okay. Oops, oh, I'm tangled. Oh my goodness. Okay, so, hey baby, are you ready to play a song? Okay. So the song that I told you I wanted to play one that's just a little bit more raucous. The song we're going to play is a song that represents a state I was in the past. This was in 2020. And it was that state of just looking at the state of the world around us, looking at the political situation, which is, eerily ringing familiar to 2020. And I was in that space between rage and despair. And what we did is we made a song out of that. And so I want to honor that experience that people feel of being enraged at the world around them or being in despair at the world around them. Those are totally natural and normal ways to feel. And that my hope is that we can all learn to make beauty out of those experiences. So it might get a little loud in here. I'm going to take my glasses off so I can see you better. Yes. You come in with your guns out high, yelling, live free or die, die. But what you call your right to work is based upon a lie, lie. You wanna make us choose whether we work or if we die, die. 50,000 people dead and the numbers just get higher, higher. Just when I thought I couldn't take any more, here it comes. That space between rage and despair. We all know we gotta build a better world for us to share. Photo with the Bible doesn't hide that you are rotten, rotten. Your chaos and corruption will not soon be forgotten, forgotten. Another $1 billion gone to another corporate bailout, bailout. Tax breaks for the 1% are nothing but a handout, handout. Just when I thought I couldn't take any more, here it comes. That space between rage and despair. We all know we gotta build a better world for us to share. Just another black man killed by another racist cop, cop. It's just another day for you and your penthouse view on top, top. People marching in the streets to fight the hatred you are spewing, spew. Ruinous division is the poison you are brewing, brew. Just when I thought I couldn't take any more, here it comes. That space between rage and despair. We all know we gotta build a better world for us to share. Yeah, man. You know, I felt very strongly that even though I don't often politicize and I try not to proselytize, but when we look at how our very right to be the way we are could be called into question, then I just want everybody to just go vote your conscience. Just go really ask deep down inside, like, how can I make sure that it is safer for everyone to be here? We don't have the best, we don't always have the perfect choice, but we do have a choice. So I think that is going to bring it to the end of the YouTube transmission. And that was Mike Anderson on electric guitar, and I am Laurel Ann Porter. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put this up here real quick, just so folks know that if you want to, if you dig what we're doing, go ahead and throw us a few bucks in the tip jar. You can do it in increments of $5. And also, if you're watching on YouTube right now live, I have a new creative grieving program starting November 15th. So if you want to get in on that, go ahead and reach out to me. You just look in the comments on this and you should be able to find a way to reach me. So if you want to help turn some of those heavy emotions into beauty, I'm your gal. Talk to you soon.